It is, man. It's cool.
I don't think anything we've said from any of us has been unfair today. I think it's all in the realm of realistic reactions to what we saw. All right. Next up from Do It from Chubb. If Watson got fluid and he couldn't throw 12 yards, it's deeper than just a contusion, He may not be ready for San Francisco. 2 weeks ain't enough time. I'm not a doctor. I'm going to let the doctors determine that. I don't even want to speculate. There was a chance he played today. I would think 2 weeks is enough time to get healthy enough to play, but I'm not a doctor. Raw Dog said Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Colt McCoy, Joe Flacco, and Nick Foles are all available. Raw Dogs, which just feels weird to say, but my guy.
Yeah, we got you. We can only say your name twice.
I'm gonna say my guy. If they wanted to bring in a backup quarterback, they have had plenty of opportunities to. It is DTR as QB2. That's not going to change.
That's what it is.
Do It for Chubb says.
Thank you, G. Bush, for that one. Welcome to Raw Dogs Radio. Well, we talk about the Browns from my perspective, and yesterday's embarrassment really can be summed up to 2 words. All right, really 3, and that would be the quarterback position. DTR is not ready. He should probably be on the practice squad. Trading Josh Dobbs, although it was a great thing for Josh Dobbs because he's out in Arizona balling. He's doing his thing. He looks like he's ready to get some starter money. He looks like a bridge quarterback, a good, solid bridge quarterback that you can trust. He moves the ball. He through the ground or on the ground, through his legs or through it with his arm. Josh Dobbs, there's a reason why we brought him back. I just wish we could have kept him. Unfortunately, the Cardinals needed a starting quarterback, and for Josh Dobbs, it was great that he got a chance to go somewhere where he could play, but for us, it was horrible because our backup quarterback position turned out to be a dumpster fire. And as I said on their podcast, like, call up Matt Ryan. All right, give him a call. Carson Wentz, weren't we supposed to have drafted him? Give him a call. All right, I mean, think about it. With the Browns' offensive line, although our left tackle position is pretty shaky, a quarterback like Matt Ryan or Carson Wentz, especially Carson Wentz, says he's more athletic than Matt Ryan, would be able to thrive on this team in this offense. All we really need is somebody that can hold the ship, keep the ship steady when Deshaun Watson gets dinged and can't play. And unfortunately, we have a backup quarterback that can't even throw an 8-yard slant. Let's just be honest. The kid can't even throw an 8-yard slant. And to me, I think that was the turning point of the game. I think that was the turning point of the game, not being able to complete a pass. The offense inability to move the ball shaped the mentality of the defense in the second quarter. Let's just be honest. Once they realized that DTR could not move the ball, the defense gave up. They pretty much quit the second half of the second quarter, and that's when the Ravens ran up their points. Another point of contention that I want to bring up is Elijah Moore. Starting to see why the Jets kept him on the bench, and I'm being dead serious when I say this. Hate me if you want to, but I'm being dead serious when I say this. Elijah Moore, a lot of potential, a lot of speed. He can catch, but let's just be honest. The kid is not a playmaker. I said it. Elijah Moore is just not a playmaker. He has a lot of potential. He looks the part. He's like Jeff George. He looks the part. He has all the intangibles. Unfortunately, it's just something about him. And it has nothing to do with talent or ability because it's there. But sometimes it's just the chemistry of a person, their mental makeup, whatever it is. They just can't it's like they almost can put their finger on it, but they just can't. They can't touch it. And that's Elijah Moore. For some reason, he just can't touch success. I mean, we've ran several trick plays with him, which have netted all of 2-3 yards, maybe combined. Actually, less than that. I think he's in the negative realm of yardage when it comes to trick plays. That play yesterday where he ran back behind the line of scrimmage 20-30 yards. What the hell was that, dude? He could have thrown the ball away, considering how these were backwards laterals. He could have thrown the ball away. He could have just threw it right out of bounds, heading towards the line of scrimmage, and we'd have got the ball right back at the original line of scrimmage. Instead, he was trying to make a play, and just ridiculousness. The futility of it. Getting stripped of the ball in the last game against the Titans. Thank goodness nothing came of that. With the Titans, I think they got a field goal out of that. That was it. But good Lord, Moore, he's not a playmaker. And our running game is non-existent. Let's just be honest. Our running game is non-existent. And I don't know if that's because our tackles are missing their blocking assignments. A lot of people are saying Jedrick Wills is missing his blocking assignments in the run game. I can believe that. So therefore, we have no running game. That it was Chubb that was making things happen out of thin air like Barry Sanders used to do. I can believe that, but our running game is non-existent. It just fizzled out when Chubb went down. And overall, though, the defense, the special teams, they're carrying their weight. They're doing what they're supposed to do. It's just a matter of getting support from the offense. And during this bye week, if I was the Browns, if I was the front office, I would definitely make some roster moves. Even if I have to cut Dobbs and put him on the practice squad, or better yet, cut DTR and put him on the practice squad, whatever you have to do, you need to do something about that backup quarterback position, because that was I put it to you like this. The Ravens defenders were wide open for those receptions. Wide open. I mean, those guys, they were like at least 10 yards open. 5 to 10 yards open easy. So, before we get into the whole story of the game, let's talk about the beauty of the game, which was Browns to honor Joe Thomas during halftime of Ravens game, which they did, and it was a beautiful thing. Although everybody during that conversation were more so focused on what they saw in the first half. Cleveland Browns are set to square off. Okay, this is old news, but it's fine. Cleveland Browns are set to square off against the Baltimore Ravens at Cleveland Browns Stadium on Sunday afternoon in Cleveland. It will not only be an important game in determining the pecking order of the AFC North, but also a special one to celebrate the Browns legend. And you know what? Let me just say this real quick. I really, 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 after today, I kind of get the sneaky suspicion that we're going to wind up fourth in the division. If we keep playing like we're playing on offense, I get the feeling we're going to end up fourth in the division, that the Steelers are going to somehow sweep us, and we're going to finish with the same record as the Steelers, but because of the tiebreakers, we're going to finish fourth. We're going to be fourth. That's what my sneaky suspicion is telling me, but I hope not. At halftime of the game, the team will recognize the career of former left tackle Joe Thomas as they induct him in the Browns Ring of Honor. In addition, Thomas will also receive his final piece of hardware for being enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Uh-oh, did I miss him? Oh, okay. Hate these websites. Okay. During the ceremony, he will be... Jesus, Christopher. During the ceremony, he will be presented with the Hall of Fame Ring of Excellence. The ring is made of 14 karat gold and has a total diamond weight of 1.75 carats. It will be engraved with the number 369, which happens to be his enshrinement number. The former All-Pro was inducted into the 2023 Hall of Fame class back on August 5th when his gold bust was revealed and he donned the gold jacket for the first time. He delivered a message during his induction speech by saying, "To Browns fans, the most loyal group of fans I know, it was truly an honor to represent you on and off the field." Yeah, I mean, we appreciate you, Joe. We do. And let's just be honest. We expect Jedrick Wills to fill these shoes or fill these shoes. I mean, at least fill half of them. It should be a gorgeous day in Cleveland with clear, sunny skies and temperatures in the mid-70s for the game. There are also some scheduled tailgate opportunities with Thomas himself scheduled near the stadium. It should be a packed house and a great environment to celebrate Thomas, as well as hope to win from the Browns, and we know that didn't go as planned. So, from that, we move on to Cleveland.com. That article came to us via ESPN. Why second quarter miscues were such a big deal for the Browns defense in Sunday's loss to the Ravens, because this is really where we fell flat. It was the second quarter that killed us as far as quarterback and defensive play. Offensive and defensive play together both failed, but mainly the offense. Greg Newsome brought up the play in the first question of his post-game interview. With 7:25 to go in the second quarter against Baltimore, the Browns cornerback missed a pretty big opportunity. He had a chance to bring down Ravens tight end Mark Andrews, who had just caught a little 10-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. I remember this. He shrugged right off his tackle and picked up the first down. But as Newsome just wrapped Andrews up, he didn't have enough power to bring the 6'5", 247-pound tight end down. Andrews picked up about 26 more yards for a big 36-yard gain, getting to the Cleveland 47. Newsome, to his credit, he did make the tackle, got back up on his feet and made the play, finishing the tackle this time. Yeah, I remember that. But he knows he let it spiral. Our coach preaches on doing the little things. So tackling, I missed a big tackle, he said. As a group, I don't think we played well enough in that aspect. So just doing the little things, keeping our eyes down, making tackles. So I think that was the biggest part. A lot of those explosive plays was really on us. Yes, they were. I mean, they catch the ball, that's fine. But not being able to get a defender down, and I'm talking more so on me on one of those, just doing little things like that. Yeah, Martin Emerson's 2 missed tackles cost the Browns 10 points against the Steelers. It's okay if they catch a 15-yard ball, but don't allow that to go 40 yards. So yeah, we definitely got to fix some of those little things. In the Browns' 28-3 loss to Baltimore, this was just one of many mistakes made throughout the afternoon, but it's also one of several explosive key plays in the second quarter that helped turn the tide of the game. All came on 2 consecutive drives that helped the Ravens up their measly 7-3 lead to a 21-3 lead heading into the locker room. Immediately after Andrews' catch, the very next play, Justice Hill ripped off a 15-yard run. No one on the line came close to touching him, and Grant Delpit had to chase him down from behind to save the touchdown. 2 plays later on 2nd and 3, Melvin Gordon ripped off a 22-yard run that would have been a touchdown had Juan Thorhill not chased him down to cut off the ankle. Yeah, that was another one. Sion Takitaki, Anthony Walker Jr., and Myles Garrett were all occupied by blockers as he ran up the left side. That Gordon run got the Ravens to the Cleveland 3, and 2 plays later, Lamar Jackson scampered in for the 2-yard score. I don't know why people don't check Lamar Jackson inside the 10. It was a little bit of everything, just like gap discipline up front and stuff like that, defensive lineman Dalvin Tomlinson said. Just getting off the block, making plays when you have to make them and stuff like that. This was at the point that the Browns defense had given up. It was certainly an uncharacteristic afternoon in coordinator Jim Schwartz's scheme for what had been the top defense in the league entering week 4 action. The Browns were allowing the fewest yards, 163.7, and points, 10.7, in the NFL. They also had the NFL's best opponent third down percentage, 19.51%, and red zone percentage at 0%. The Ravens didn't balk at those numbers and were 4 for 4 on red zone chances and 4 of 12 on third down tries. Well, 4 of 12 is horrible. But 4 for 4 in the red zone, I don't know what it was. For some reason, like I said, they just did not check Jackson inside the 10. Once you get inside the red zone with Jackson, you already know the first play you should look for is a quarterback draw. Pathetic. Coming into week 4, the most net yards the Browns defense had given up was 255 to the Steelers. They gave up just 142 to the Bengals in week 1 and 94 to the Titans last week. A far cry from the 296 they gave up to the Ravens on Sunday. That's because you didn't have a quarterback. When you don't have a quarterback, when you're going 3 and out, or you're getting the first down, so now you're going 5 and out or 6 and out. I mean, what do you expect? We take ownership. Defensive lineman Agbo Arankwo said. Hey, I actually got his name, Okoronkwo. I only got his name right. Hold on, sorry. Okay. Got some family pics to look at. Here's the thing. When your offense is not producing, when they're going 3 and out, 6 and out, turning the ball over, the defense eventually wears down. The fight gets sucked right out of them. So, yes, all of a sudden now you're giving up yardage on the ground, through the air. You're giving up touchdowns because the defense has decided that there's no point in them breaking their necks for nothing. So they go limp. Those were our mistakes. That was very uncharacteristic of our defense. We're going to watch it. We're not going to point any fingers. We're going to go watch it and just make the corrections. That's all we can do. But the most uncharacteristic aspect of the afternoon was repeat mistakes. The very next drive, Gus Edwards had a big 16-yard run as Baltimore faced 1st and 20 at his own 16. Right, that 16-yard run on 1st and 20, that's when I knew. I said, you know what? We're done. We're done. Delphin had a chance to take him down at the line of scrimmage, but lunged off his feet and was toast after that. 4 plays later on 3rd and 6, Jackson perfectly placed the ball over Jeremiah Owusu-Formora to Gordon for a 23-yard play to set the Ravens up at the Cleveland 35. The defense regrouped, though, and they were well on their way to getting a stop as Ravens faced a 2nd and 29 from their own 46. But that's when Jackson connected with rookie receiver Zay Flowers for a big 43-yard play that gave Baltimore more great positioning at the Cleveland 11. Jackson scrambled out of the pocket and coverage broke down after about the first 4 seconds of the play. 2 plays later, Jackson connected with Andrews for a 7-yard score, and suddenly Cleveland trailed by 18 instead of 4. As the Ravens piled up big plays, it seemed like the Browns became more prone to pressing, leaving their feet and diving to attempt to make tackles. It actually seemed to have the opposite effect, with the misses piling up instead. Guys were a little bit late, Garrett said. I think that's really probably the main culprit. When you're a little bit late, you leave your feet, and it's hard to dive through a guy when you're in the air and you're hitting half a man and you're trying to wrap up a leg. And arm tackles don't often work in the NFL. So those guys, with the way they run and how aggressive they are as well, you've got to drive through them. You've got to wrap up, and you got to be committed to taking them down with 1, 2, or 3 guys. So I would say it was more of just being behind in our fits, our execution. Normally in the NFL, you have to flush losses like this one quickly, but the Browns have to sit with it for an extra week with their Week 5 bye coming up. And that's the thing with the bye week, you have definitely got to make some changes. You've got to make some changes. You've got to make some changes at running back, and you have to make some changes at quarterback, at least in the backup roles. You have to do something. Safety Rodney McLeod has plenty of experience seeing Schwartz make corrections after losses like this one, since he spent 6 seasons in Philadelphia, 16-21, with the first 5 coming in Schwartz's system while he was defensive coordinator with the Eagles. Okay, good. He's one of the best. He's seen a lot, done a lot, and he knows what it takes, McLeod says. So just as much as we scout other teams are going to do the same with us. I think we're going to maximize this week to be able to help us as we make this push. Cleveland's defense will have to find a way to turn it around and use this as motivation with their currently undefeated San Francisco 49ers coming to town October 15th. Yeah, they're up next. Wow. Can't cry over spilled milk, Okoronkwo said. Can't go back out there and tackle better right now. So we just got to correct things in practice and know that when we get our chance, because we're going to play them again, that we'll do better. So here is where they're talking about Mary Kay Cabot, Ashley Bastock, and Dave LaBelle talk all things Browns, like they're talking about what happened with Deshaun Watson. Nope, can't play that here. Or can I? Yep, there we go. All right, let's see what they have to say. Whenever it's ready to play. I guess that was it on the article. What's going on, Snowman? Sorry, I was reading this article here. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and wait for this thing to get it together. So let's go to Snow. You want to come up? Are you still in here? Here, I'll throw the invite up. You can gloat if you want to. All right, so Browns Twitter reacts to Dorian Thompson-Robinson and lost the Ravens. And let me tell you, they were not kind, especially on my Twitter. I don't want to bring my Twitter up, but they were not kind. I know I wasn't. So let's see what the local denizens have to say. All right, so this is written by Corey Kennan, and he wrote this yesterday at 7:46 p.m. And this comes to us via the Browns Wire on USA Today. Yeah. All right, everybody, I want to welcome Ryan Snow to the show. You can find him at Snowman Multimedia. What's going on there, Snowman?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
I'm all right. I know I said 10 o'clock, but I didn't wake up till 10. I was up till 2 o'clock catching up on all of the other game action.
I get it. I was up late myself, getting ready for the day. I just signed off a little bit ago. Man, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I don't have to say anything else.
I'm embarrassed. I'm ashamed. But I mean, what do you expect out of a 5th round pick?
That the Browns apparently counted on yesterday.
Yeah. Personally, as I was saying earlier today, they traded Josh Dobbs. It was good for Josh Dobbs. You see what he's doing out in Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
We watched the game yesterday. We did the game yesterday.
We did.
Yeah, he's not a bad quarterback.
Not at all.
And the Browns could have used him yesterday, but they traded him for his own good.
All Dobbs needed was an opportunity, and he's getting that now.
Yeah, he's getting it. The Tennessee should have kept him. They should have signed him to at least a 3-year deal and have him compete with who's their quarterback?
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill, who's like what, 38, 39, 56 years old?
Was washed up.
He's an old man. Yeah, you need to bring in that new fresh arm, and Dobbs should have been there. He should have been there to compete.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know.
Good. Listen,
go ahead.
You're talking about teams that need to make right decisions and they don't. Like Deshaun Watson.
Well, his situation is that he woke up last week. He had pain. He had pain in his throwing shoulder. We haven't fully diagnosed what's going on. Around Saturday, Sunday, they were trying to get him to throw. He couldn't. He could barely throw a football 10 yards. So, unfortunately, they had to push in DTR.
Yeah.
We regret to inform you that you're shit out of luck. But that was a mistake.
There you go. There you go.
It was a mistake.
They had to.
All about you, isn't it, you dumb asshole?
They had to put in DTR yesterday, and since you're playing sounds, I play this one.
Tiger uppercut.
This thing is random. Please remove your
head from your ass.
It's the help button.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
This thing is random. So, all right, let me get into.
And a lot of Browns fans actually thought DTR was going to help them.
Stop the cap.
Is my response to that.
I had to be honest.
Yes, sir.
From what I saw in the preseason, I'm going to talk about me. What I saw in the preseason was a very enthusiastic kid who was trying too hard to do too much.
Yep.
Right? He threw I put it to you like this. The most notable thing that came out of his preseason play were the 3 blocks that he threw.
Mm-hmm.
He threw one in I think it was the first preseason game that sprung the running back in for a touchdown. It was down inside the 20. He blocked the defensive back. The kid scored. And then in the last preseason game, I think this was against Washington, where there was another running play, a pitch out. He ran out. He blocked the defensive back. Pop. It was a good block. The running back was able to bounce off defenders, and he had a second chance to go back and block the defender, which he did. It was a snot bubbler block that drew a 15-yard penalty. And I said to myself, and I posted it here, I said, hey, look, he needs to simmer down before he gets hurt. He's doing too much.
And he's about to get hurt.
Right. So now you see, what we saw. We saw him out there, and we saw him trying to do too much. And the thing about it is that his mind is still racing.
Yeah.
His mind is still racing. He hasn't settled down. He hasn't caught up to the game. The game has already surpassed him, but he needs to catch up to the game. And right now, putting him out there in live game action is just not conducive to his development. He should be the third string quarterback.
Should be and will be this to be true. Should be and will be our 2 different ball games.
Well, we'll see what the Browns do during the bye week, because we're off this weekend coming up. And as I said, you've got Matt Ryan, you've got Carson Wentz out there, you've got Colt McCoy. You have some capable backups in case Deshaun Watson misses more time,
which he will.
You can bring in a veteran that can steady the ship, little dink and dunk passing offense until Watson is ready to play. You can salvage it.
The Cardinals did it with Colt McCoy. And Colt McCoy got them to the playoffs in 2021. Let me say that again. Colt McCoy got the Cardinals to the playoffs, not Kyler Murray. Colt McCoy got the Cardinals, I beg your pardon, to the playoffs in 2021. Why doesn't he get another call?
Well, we'll see. We'll see. The Cardinals, they let him go because they wanted to go younger, but we'll see if somebody gives him a call. Look at Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt sat. He didn't take any offers. He sat. He waited, and sure enough, now he's back in the Browns uniform.
Yeah, which prompts my question of who are we talking about here? The Cleveland Browns.
Well, injuries. I get it, but injuries hits every team. It's just unfortunately just happens to be our team. God, I was so shocked. I was so shocked.
Yeah,
when Nick Chubb went down. I was just sitting here like this.
I hated seeing that happen to Nick Chubb.
I don't even think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I hated seeing that happen to Chubb. Let me close this. Doggone. This is one time my arms are not long enough to close anything. I hated seeing that happen to Nick Chubb. And it's the same kind of injury he suffered while he was at Georgia.
Yeah.
Same kind of injury he suffered at Georgia. Can he come back from that?
Not as bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Can he come back from that? Can Chubb?
Well, he only ripped one ligament, so we'll see. We'll see, but
the scary part for me is that it's the same ligament in the same knee that he ripped while at Georgia. Bless you.
Sorry about that. Well, like I said, we'll see. Let me get to the story. I'm sorry, because I know this is the fun part. The Cleveland Browns have blown 2 opportunities to jump up the standings in the AFC North. While this loss to the Baltimore Ravens was not nearly as humiliating or embarrassing as their loss to the middling Pittsburgh Steelers, good Lord,
who got smacked
by a rookie quarterback.
Of all things, they get smacked by a rookie quarterback.
Embarrassing loss.
Very embarrassing.
A loss is a loss nonetheless. Sure, it is just week 4, and starting quarterback Deshaun Watson was inactive in this one as the rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson made his debut. But the Browns were completely incapable of moving the football on the day, mustering up just 3 points against the Ravens.
Yep.
This forced the defense to stay on the field for longer as the time of possession skewed extremely heavily in favor of the Ravens. All in all, it was a long day for the Browns and those in attendance at Cleveland Browns Stadium. Here is how Browns Twitter reacted to the rough debut for the rookie quarterback and the loss to the Ravens. Browns, you about to say something?
That's all I got to say.
Okay. This is Viva Las Vegan, baby deliverer, group chat villain. Browns Twitter telling me I was right about DTR, but I didn't want to be. That's just bad. Quincy Carrier, he has a show here on YouTube. People say stuff like Kevin should have oh good Lord, DTR easy plays, but they did have DTR easy plays. The only thing they didn't, though, this is what bothered me about the offensive game plan, because G. Bush, former NFL defensive end, he was saying that the loss was mainly on Kevin Stefanski. All right. About the play calling. And I can agree to that. It does fall on his shoulders, because I was looking for screen passes, which I did not see.
Nope.
All right. I was looking for draws in the running game. You have a running quarterback. The kid is known for his legs. Where was the quarterback design rollout run plays?
Non-existent. Right.
You put it to you like this. You have Lamar Jackson as a rookie in DTR. You have to run the Lamar Jackson as a rookie offense with DTR. I know you feel that you don't have a running game without Chubb, but you still have to do it. You
Yeah.
have to be creative. One of the things that I saw that made Colorado successful in the second half against USC was that they changed up their offense. They changed up the blocking schemes. They finally put a back in the backfield. They kept the tight end the chip. They moved the pocket.
They made adjustments.
Right. They ran the football, whether they could do it or not. Damn it. When I give you the ball, run through that man. Run through him. Get the yardage. That gave the team confidence. They were able to move the ball.
And the only thing that Colorado ran out of was time.
Yep.
They just ran out of time.
And this is the difference between being a good coach and just being a coach, a serviceable coach. Stefanski, based on what I've seen, not just against the Ravens here, but also in the Steelers game that we lost, no screens, no moving the pocket, no type of adjustments that would counteract what the defense was doing.
Mm-hmm.
No adjustment to your quarterback's play. If he doesn't look like he has it, if things are not working, if your quarterback can't throw a simple 8-yard slant route.
Oh, gee, where have I heard that before?
Then you change your offense. So he said Baltimore's defense gets paid to play too, and they are very good. What plays do you think were going to be easy? They were locked in on screens, play action, and constant pressure. What screens?
Yeah, what screens? Exactly. What screens? I didn't see one screen in the entire game. Did you?
No.
If the Indianapolis Colts could make adjustments and figure out what they needed to do to put their rookie quarterback in a position to win, and they damn near came back and won that thing, then why didn't you already know the finish to that question.
It's coaching.
You already know the end of that question.
I have to be honest. Coming into this season, though, I wondered if Deshaun Watson's ability to make plays would override Kevin Stefanski's inability to adjust his coaching style in the middle of a game.
In other words, did they cancel each other out? The answer is yes.
Right. And yeah, I would say Deshaun Watson, he can make enough plays to cancel out Kevin Stefanski's stupidity, because in the last game that we won against the Titans, you had all of these silly reverse plays. You had one reverse play that wound up being a screen pass behind the line of scrimmage that gained 12 yards. And I'm like, what was the point of this?
Right.
If you're not throwing the ball down the field past 20 yards, then the defense is going to sit on you inside 15 yards. Therefore, your running game is trash and your passing game is neutralized.
And your running game is trash and your passing game is worse.
Yeah, because you're not.
Your passing game is worse.
Yeah.
Absolutely worse. You and I did the 49ers game yesterday, and that one play that they tried to run a reverse with Deebo Samuel, luckily it didn't come back and bite him in the ass. All right, because that one play gave the Cardinals confidence to have them march 99 yards and come to within 5 points at 21-16. But there's something you also said. How do the 49ers respond? Well, the 49ers responded by socking them in the mouth in the fourth quarter and owning the ball.
Yeah. They marched right down the field and scored. They put the game away. 28-16 at that time?
30, it was 20. That score that the 49ers stuck it right in the end zone. Thank you, Christian McCaffrey. Made it 28-16 at the time, and the Cardinals knew they were done.
Yeah, that was it. They were gone. It was over. But they didn't quit.
No, they did not.
Also, remember we were talking about how they kept taking shots down the field.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they completed them or not, although they did complete a couple, but they took the shots down the field to back the defense up.
Yep.
It loosens up your defense. Like, oh, okay, like, let me back up 5 yards. I can't play them so tight. That helps your running game and your passing game, your intermediate passing game.
Look at how the 49ers controlled the ball yesterday for 34 minutes.
We play y'all next. You know that, right?
Oh, I know. And I'm
Yeah,
ready
we're on the
and
bye.
I will be doing that game. I will be doing that game. I'm covering
Oh,
the
we're gonna have fun, you and I.
I'm gonna be covering. Oh, I'm gonna have fun. That much. I know I'm gonna have fun like a sumbitch doing that game. But in getting everything straight with my channel, I'm taking your advice and Cole's advice, and I'm just concentrating on the 49ers right now, on my teams, which are the 49ers and the Colts. In this house, I'm working on what I'm going to do for basketball, and I'm doing what Dr. K told me. I'm concentrating on what's familiar to me in my quest to hit Radio Row in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl. I already
that's how you do it.
You goddamn right we're going to do it. And what's up, RC? Everybody, even to this day, dog, everybody, even to this day, keeps telling me, oh, you're going to have to put in more time to get to Radio Row. Oh, yeah. Watch this, motherfucker.
Well, I'm time to put on the clear heels. Put on the clear heels, grab the little purse, and get out there. Make that money.
You know what's so funny though? Everybody sees, for me, they see the immediate result that I don't have any big time sponsors, ... yet, and they want to jump all over it.
Look, these things take time. All right. And do me a favor, go ahead and post your link in the chat.
Okay.
That way we have it. I'm gonna get back to these tweets. All right. So year 21 said Browns did a disservice putting DTR on this football field. Cole said DTR played as bad today against the Ravens as Deshaun Watson did against the Steelers when I sent that tweet. Okay. Wow. Corey,
they're not playing around today.
No, they're not. Corey said there's an alternative timeline where the Browns don't trade Joshua Dobbs. He starts this game and the team is ridiculed for not starting DTR. Yeah, I can believe that.
They were being sarcastically ridiculous on your timeline yesterday when we were doing the 49ers game. They were having so much fun with it.
I know. DTR is rancid, man. The NFL is a quarterback league, and the Browns didn't have one today. It isn't any deeper than that. No idea why DTR is throwing so much. This is on Kevin so far. Yeah, Cody Swick said that he's right.
Okay, here's where this is the only time I'll have fun at your expense. They think DTR is Brock Purdy, especially after
no. Oh, no.
Like I said, that's the only time I will take a playful shot at your expense. But you know the difference. You know I'm being playful when I make that joke anyway, because you did the game with me yesterday and you're going to help me cover the games for the rest of the season. You saw what happened. But once again, who are we talking about here? We're talking about the Cleveland Browns, who effectively, I'm going to throw an old school name at y'all, who effectively have not had a durable, competent quarterback since Bernie Kosar. Find the lie.
You know, I put it to you like this. Until Deshaun Watson, and I think he looked like he's finally regained his form last week, but until you see that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row, I have to say that you're right. No. Matter of fact, not even Bernie Kosar, the last competent quarterback we had, believe it or not, will not believe this. It was Vinny Testaverde.
Vinny Testaverde. There you go.
Vinny Testaverde got us to the playoffs.
I was going to say Brian Sipe, but then visions for Browns fans of Red Right 88 at old Cleveland Stadium come to mind.
No, don't start. Don't start. You a stone hands linebacker.
Of course, we're talking about 1980 in the division playoffs.
All right.
But listen, Vinny Testaverde, Bernie Kosar, those are Brian Sipe, who threw that interception in 1980. And to think Brian Sipe in that year, 1980, was being considered, God help me for saying this,
MVP.
Yes,
he had an MVP year. Brian Sipe was legit. He was the truth.
Yeah, he was.
What was he picked, like in the 16th round or something like that?
15th or 16th round. Matter of fact,
Yeah, he was I mean, good Lord.
man. But if you don't have that kind of, oh geez,
Chutzpah.
yeah, thank you. That's exactly the that's exactly what I'm looking for. Brian Sipe played from 1974 to 1983. Then he played in the USFL for 2 seasons. And I'm looking up the round where he was drafted. He wore number 17. He played until 1985. And yeah, he was the MVP in 1980, as well as the Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, passing touchdown leader in 1979, and one of the Cleveland Browns legends. But
yeah, Brian Sipe was the truth, man.
Yeah, he was.
I grew up watching Brian Sipe. He was the first quarterback for the Browns I remember as a kid.
Here's a stat for you. We both have talked about durability of quarterbacks nowadays. From 1978 through 1981, Sipe did not miss a start.
Look at that. And he was a little guy playing back when they used to kill quarterbacks.
6'1". He was 6 foot. He was 6'1".
How much did he weigh?
185. He was 6 feet tall and 185.
185. He was a slim dude.
Mm-hmm.
He was not a muscular dude.
He was drafted in the 13th round of the 1972 NFL draft. 13th round.
13th round. This was back when you would play in the NFL and then go unload the beer trucks in the off season.
You up until 1988, you would have an off-season job. And I mentioned 1988 because John Taylor, wide receiver extraordinaire for the 49ers for 10 years, sold cars
in the off-season.
And who did he sell cars for? Reggie Jackson. Figure that out. And yet he was one of the most dynamic receivers in the league.
No money.
That John Taylor, who burned Deion Sanders to a crisp in 1991 on a 97-yard touchdown pass.
All right, let me get back to this.
And oh, by the way, you've heard the criticism of me. People will love telling me I don't know my sports and don't know my football. Try again. Go ahead.
Greg Pusker said 2 weeks ago, Browns fans were calling for DTR. This has been painful. I wasn't calling for him. He's about that Steelers loss.
I know you weren't calling for DTR.
Oh, hell no, I wasn't calling for him. Quinn said DTR winds up on every throw like he's trying to set a miles per hour record in a pitching booth.
Man.
Said, DTR about to get the full Cleveland Browns starting quarterback experience. Update, I'm ready for Walker.
Who hasn't gotten the Cleveland Brown full quarterback full experience? Who hasn't?
I know.
Every quarterback that the Cleveland Browns have had, including the ones that we've mentioned, have gotten the full Cleveland Browns experience. Tim Couch, anyone?
That, you know what? That Bill, okay. This is what kills me about the Tim Couch era.
Yes.
That you had the 49er, quote unquote 49er front office brain trust. Carmen Policy, Dwight Clark. Clark came over here to Cleveland to help build a winning franchise. Right. And clearly these guys did not know what the hell they were doing. Obviously, Bill Walsh was the real architect behind it. Eddie DeBartolo just gave him a checkbook.
Yep. Eddie DeBartolo wrote and paid people. Bill Walsh put that together.
Yes. He 100% built the 49ers.
Yeah. Bill Walsh is the reason the 49er dynasty was born. All Carmen Policy and Eddie DeBartolo did was sign the checks.
They rode his coattails. Let's just be honest. They rode his coattails.
They sure did.
Same thing with Sam Weiss. He built the Bengals.
And they rode his
coattails. The head owner rode his coattails. That's what ownership do. They ride coattails. Unless you're even what's his name? Jerry Jones. He's still riding the coattails of Jimmy Johnson's success.
And will never let it go. And then yet he will not put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor at AT&T Stadium, which is a freaking travesty to me.
That's fine. We all know who Jimmy Johnson is. He doesn't need him to honor him. Cowboys fans know exactly why they won 3 Super Bowls in the 90s.
I'm not a Cowboy fan per se, but I recognize greatness, and Jimmy Johnson was all of that.
Yeah. So more for you, Cleveland. These were my sentiments exactly. Had zero expectations for DTR, but oh my Lord. I was right there with him, like, oh my God. Once I saw him throw that interception on the slant pass, an 8-yard slant, 2 yards behind Amari Cooper.
Game, set, match.
Yeah, I was like, oh God.
And what did you say all day yesterday? Cannot throw an 8-yard slant.
Yeah, can't even throw an 8-yard slant.
Which is the play that Montana and company made famous, by the way. Even if it was only Dwight Clark and Freddie Solomon, later Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Brent Jones, that 8-yard slant.
So Pete Smith said, I get the logic in trading Dobbs, but he was certainly more prepared for this than DTR. There were national people suggesting DTR could start for several teams. He's talented, plenty of tools, going to take time. Yeah, like 3 years worth of time. Corey said, all right, man, DTR seeing ghosts out there. Jake Burns said DTR on pace for 35 plus attempts today, which he was.
Dear God.
But you blame that on coaching.
Yep.
DTR already making veteran plays for the Browns, launching inaccurate bombs that the refs immediately reward with DPI calls.
DPI calls, yeah. We saw that a couple times yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah. DTR wearing a Slayer t-shirt post game. There's still hope for him yet. Let's see here.
Oh dear Lord.
Right.
And y'all wonder why we have so much fun with this.
DTR is completely panicking at the first sniff of some pressure.
You think
he was?
You think
he was all over the place. It was pathetic. The rookie QB is starting, so we're gonna run Jerome Ford today, right? Kevin Stefanski. Let's see. Let's see what they put here. I got to see the picture.
I got to see it myself. I gotta see it myself. Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Okay, I saw. This is the picture.
James. Oh my gosh.
Not the king of Queens.
They put the king of Queens in this thing. And you wonder why this is so hilarious. And you wonder why we pick on Browns fans and the team so much. I mean, they make it. What have I often said? They make it too easy. I mean, listen, an 8-yard, you couldn't throw an 8-yard slant. Let me echo your point. They couldn't throw an 8-yard slant. 8 yards. They couldn't throw an 8-yard slant.
I looked at that because at first, when I saw the play, when they showed the replay from behind the quarterback, I thought that he was throwing an out pass to the other wide receiver who went up and out to the left.
Yes.
That's who I thought he was throwing it to, but it wasn't. He was just that inaccurate.
He was.
That the defender who was covering Amari Cooper was able to reach back and tip. I mean, he couldn't even get that. The ball was so behind Amari Cooper that the defensive back that was trailing Amari Cooper on the play, he had to reach back to tip the ball. It passed. Both of them. The ball was behind both of them. He tipped it up, and the receiver that was 10 yards back, who I thought he was throwing the out pass to, the defender was able to stop, adjust, and get the interception.
And by them and behind them by a couple of yards.
Yes.
and behind them by a couple of yards.
Kevin Stefanski deserves plenty of criticism today for what we are seeing out of this offense. That said, some of you only criticize him and never give him credit when the team actually succeeds, which is just wrong. Well, I mean, I give Kevin his credits when he calls a game plan that works.
We give Kevin his flowers, okay? Don't get it twisted. The problem is, since 2020, when they made the playoffs and beat the piss out of Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, it has not been, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent.
And he wasn't even there.
Nope.
He was at home.
He was at home with COVID.
Right.
He was at home with COVID. He was at home with COVID.
What you know what we didn't see? This is what we didn't see in that playoff game for those of us who are Browns fans who remember that. You didn't see any goofy trick plays.
Nope.
You didn't see any reverses. You saw a straight up offense that pushed the ball forward down the field. No reverses, no trick plays, no fake kicks or anything like that.
None of that.
We played straight up football.
Say that again, please. Y'all played what? Straight up what?
Straight up football.
Straight up football.
Straight up football. Kevin tries to put these wrinkles in. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now, in all honesty, you need to cut that stuff out because it's not working. It hasn't worked all year.
Just ask Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Listen, my friend Ben came up with that, and we put it in an intro. And as soon as we heard Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins, I lost it. Because it fits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It fits.
You know, Kirk can play. He doesn't have a supporting cast on defense, and he doesn't have a running game.
He's in Minnesota, for God's sakes. Does that tell you
right?
Anything? He's in. And the Vikings, and I hate saying this. No, I don't hate this saying this aloud because we saw it coming. The Vikings are stuck with him. They're stuck with him.
Well, I think his contract is up at the end of the year.
What do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to march him right into the office and put a blank check in front of him. In front of a 35-year-old quarterback instead of going younger. And the quarterback class this year is deep, is very deep, and they won't use it.
This is why I would say if I was the Vikings right now, who's the team out here who desperately needs a veteran quarterback, starting quarterback, to try to save their season?
That's a good question. To try to save their season?
Because Aaron Rodgers is talking about coming back in November.
He won't be back.
Right. So you can pretty much write the Jets off because the Jets aren't going to do that. That's too much money.
The Jets are cooked. And this is after their performance last night where they got screwed. Okay. The Jets got flat out screwed last night. But be that as it may, the Jets got screwed. The Giants are screwing themselves with Daniel Jones. The Pittsburgh Steelers are relying on Kenny Pickett. What does that tell you?
Well, you know, they're blaming the offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh, which I can kind of see. But at the same time, I see Pickett is a screw up.
I can see that. I can see that blaming Matt Canada. Because Matt Canada has the most horrid offensive outside of, let me think, outside of Luke Getsy with the Chicago Bears.
Oh my God.
Well, as I often say, find the lie.
All right, so with the Giants, I would definitely, if I was the Giants, let's just be honest. Daniel Jones is a serviceable quarterback.
And
serviceable, not good, just serviceable.
And they paid him like a stud after
right.
The Giants.
The Giants are kind of stuck with Jones.
And the Vikings are stuck with 2 Chainz Cousins.
Right. So can't go to Detroit. Detroit used to be a dumping ground for talent. So you can't go there. You can't go out to LA. Jimmy Garoppolo, I doubt very highly he'll go out to the Raiders.
Yeah, they're going to lean on Garoppolo, but Garoppolo is going to get screwed over by Josh McDaniels.
Jacksonville is set, as is Tampa Bay. They like what they're getting out of Baker Mayfield.
Dear God.
I know he had some things to say. He took a veiled shot yesterday. I don't care. I don't care what he has to say.
Like I said, dear God. I mean, do y'all really actually go on? He's
definitely not going to Arizona because they're tanking for Caleb Williams. If he comes out, though.
If Caleb Williams is smart and he sees Arizona as his prize, he'd stay put.
So, yeah, but I think Kyler Murray, I think they're going to dump Kyler Murray. I also think the Bears might move on from Justin Fields.
They should have never paid Kyler Murray. They should have never paid him.
No, but you had to, it was either pay him or trade him and start all over.
You should have gotten rid of him the same way you dumped Josh Rosen. Start over.
I think at that time, but who at that time would have taken a chance on Kyler Murray?
Nobody.
You're right. So
I sure as hell wouldn't take a chance.
Yeah, you were stuck with him.
Yep. Just as the Bears, unfortunately, are stuck with Justin Fields because they're not going to make the smart move and get him out of there.
They had their chance in the offseason, but they blew it.
And I'm not saying that you should trade him because he's bereft of talent. Not saying that at all. I'm saying the Bears are nowhere near being a competitive team unless they solve the problem up front. Or should I say up top?
They've tried. I mean, their draft and free agency, they've rebuilt that team. The problem is, in all honesty, is coaching.
Which leads to my next question. What the hell is a Matt Eberflus?
Right. I mean, you have a quarterback who has trouble reading defenses.
Mm-hmm.
But he's great with his leg. He's an improvisational quarterback. And I always say when you have a rookie quarterback, and this is what cost who was the guy that was in Andrew Luck? This is what cost him his career. You can't come out of the gate throwing like he's a 7-year veteran,
right,
who's been in the same offense for since day one. No, you have to power running game, play action pass, throw when you need to. You have to do that when you have a rookie quarterback. You let them grow into the role.
And they were on their way. The Colts were to having all of that, and then they screwed it up.
Yeah,
they screwed it.
The Jim Tressel situation.
They screwed it up, and they will never be the same again unless they put a line in front of Anthony Richardson,
which is not going to happen because you do not have the brain trust in place in the front office to make it work.
You don't have any competent people in place.
Right.
Get some football people in there. Fix that goddamn thing, please.
This is the problem with the Bears.
Oh God.
You have, put it to you like this. It seems like you have the people in place. I mean, at least they are trying to rebuild the roster. They're trying to give him talent. They're trying to give him a line. But the thing is that the coaching staff is just not holding up to their end of the bargain.
And I still say, what the hell is a Matt Eberflus?
I don't know.
I still say, what the hell is a Matt Eberflus? I don't understand him to this day. Apparently, he came over from the Colts. Where?
That's a good thing. We saw just how horrible the coach, especially their offensive line. I mean, they beat the hell out of Matt Ryan.
They beat the hell out of Andrew Luck.
Yeah, they beat the hell out of Andrew Luck. Who was the quarterback between Luck and Matt Ryan? It was the guy who played for the Chargers.
Phillip Rivers.
They beat the hell out of Phillip Rivers.
They beat the hell out of Phillip Rivers. They beat the hell out of Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
They beat the hell out of Carson Wentz. They beat the hell out of. They've beaten the hell out of every quarterback since Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Because they had the brain trust, the Polians. They built that Colts team. The first thing they did, they built the offensive line. Then they got a running back. First they got Marshall Faulk. Then they wound up getting
Edgerrin James.
And then after Edgerrin James, they wound up getting.
Shucks, who is that?
I can't even think of the back who came after Edgerrin James because he wasn't even crucial to their offense. They were a passing team. They just ran the ball to kill the clock. The running back was not essential to the Colts offense at that time.
Which is how they correctly built their offense when you have Peyton Manning under center.
And
you
then
don't
of course,
need that much of a strong running game.
Right. Then of course, when Peyton Manning went down with the neck injury and you had Jacoby Brissett, you had to lean on your running game. The problem was that your offensive linemen were not run blockers; they were pass blockers.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's including Jeff Saturday.
Right. So you went 2-14.
Mm-hmm. And then they get Andrew Luck, and they were in the process of building that team, but they forgot the most important thing, and that's to build an offensive line.
Yeah.
And they screwed it up.
So now they're in limbo with their offensive line. They can halfway pass block, halfway run block.
Mm-hmm.
You need an Anthony Richardson in there at quarterback to be able to evade and avoid defenders.
And I like what Richardson's showing me. When he was initially drafted, I have to say something. When he was initially drafted, I thought, what the hell are they doing? But since he's been under center, except for the one game that he did not play, I like what this kid's showing me. They just need to put a better line in front of him. Jeez.
It's pathetic. That's why I say, you go ahead and trade him in the offseason to who I don't know. You go ahead, you get you a new quarterback. Maybe you go ahead and go on to him for another year.
Mm-hmm.
Deion's kid, Shador's not coming out at the end of this season. He'll be a senior next year.
And Deion's making sure that he doesn't come out this year. He's
right.
making that.
It's not like I'll put it to you like this, and I mean just to go off subject further here, and then we'll round it back out. The thing with the Sanders kids, especially Shador, is that normally when athletes come out in their junior year, it's because mama's house is about to get foreclosed on.
Yep.
You understand? We tired of eating jelly sandwiches.
We're tired of eating ramen noodles.
Right. The athlete's family is poor. So they come out early in order to get the money to help save their family.
Right.
But we're talking about Shador Sanders here. Mama's house is not about to get foreclosed on. They're not eating buck sandwiches every night.
Nope.
Right. He's going to make, I think they said he's about to make $6 million in NIL money.
So they don't have to worry about anything.
Exactly. Why would you come out, especially knowing that next year you're going to get top recruits that's going to help you out on your offensive and defensive lines. You're going to get more talent in your secondary and in your wide receivers. With linebacker, you're going to have your pick of the litter in the transfer portal. So why not stick around for one more year and try to win the national championship?
And this is a team that's moving back to the Big 12 next year.
Look at that. So they'll be playing against real competition, which is what you want them to do. You want to see exactly just how good this team could be.
Exactly.
And you can tell that these guys, they do not run from competition. They welcome it. So I'm not worried about that. All I know is that Caleb Williams, if I was him, I would probably stay in for one more year, because why would you want to go and play for the Cardinals, who are a hot mess?
They're dumb.
The NFL is on this trend where they're hiring these coaches under the age of 35, and a lot of them don't know what the hell they're doing. Matt Eberflus. being one of them.
Yeah, hello, Matt Eberflus.
Right. You have a lot of coaches who don't know what they're doing. They're having on the job experience.
And we still don't know what the hell an Eberflus is.
Right. And the thing about it is what happened to the Bill Walsh coaching tree? What happened to because okay, who's your guy? I can tell you right now who was part of the Bill Walsh coaching tree, who has players out there right now. Shanahan. That's his father was part of the Bill Walsh coaching tree. That 94 49ers, that was what's his father's name? Bill?
Mike Shanahan.
Mike Shanahan's offense.
Mike Shanahan was the offensive coordinator who took over for the legendary Mike Holmgren.
Exactly. Who went, of course, to Green Bay, and we all know who fell out of his coaching tree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we know. Go on.
Yeah. So now you have the Shanahan coaching tree, and that's where you have Robert Saleh, who I feel so bad for him because he's, in all honesty, look, if it was up to him, he would have been cut that freaking piece of stuff crap. He would have been cut Wilson.
Yeah,
but
Zach Wilson would have been gone. Yeah, Zach Wilson would have been gone.
Right. It's not on him. It's on the upstairs. That's why he said, Matt Wilson, Wilson, give us the best chance to win. When he doesn't, when he clearly, is it Matt Wilson or is it Garrett Wilson? What is this? Matt Wilson. Yeah, he gives us the best chance to win because they look, when you got Aaron Rodgers, you should have dumped Matt Wilson and you should have got a backup, a veteran backup to sit behind Aaron Rodgers just in case.
Well, that just in case is now a reality and they have nothing to show for it.
Right. But they didn't do that. So now they're stuck.
That just in case is a reality and they have absolutely nothing to show for it.
Right. With Saleh, you could say he's part of the Bill Walsh coaching tree coming out of Shanahan.
Yep.
Shanahan is pretty much his own offensive coordinator. So you don't have an offensive coordinator that's up under his coaching tree.
No, and you won't either. Not with Shanahan running that offense the way he's running that offense.
Yeah, he's got it on lock. So you don't have to worry about that. So what you're looking at really is, unless you get somebody who comes out from up under Robert Saleh, the Bill Walsh coaching tree has pretty much hit its end. So the Bill Belichick coaching tree, he doesn't help his assistants at all as far as secrets about the game and everything.
Right.
So therefore, they're sent out into the world, and we see what happens with these guys. They fail horrendously.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, horrendously. So the Bill Parcells coaching tree.
Bill Parcells, God love you.
It has mixed results. Bill Belichick was doing well. He should have retired when Brady retired. Well, when Brady left the Patriots, he should have retired. Who is the guy in Denver?
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton. He's under the Bill Belichick. I'm sorry, not Bill Belichick. The Bill Parcells coaching tree. He's from the Bill Parcells coaching tree. He has had he's had good success. He's won a Super Bowl. He's put together a good Saints team. Now he's trying to rebuild in Denver.
Good luck.
I'm sorry?
Good luck with that.
Right. Dennis Allen comes out of the Bill Parcells. He's up under that coaching tree because he is up under Peyton's coaching tree. And he's struggling mightily down there in New Orleans. They have a good team. They have some really good players. It's just that the coaching is abysmal.
To say the least. Good Lord.
Right. You saw they lost to Tampa Bay.
Of all teams.
Yeah. RC on
all teams, they lost to Tampa Bay.
Yeah. RC, he said everyone was celebrating last night just because Zach had a couple of satisfactory drives. People wanted to see Zach succeed, as many accepted that he's going to fail. He's really lucky to be starting. Right.
No lie to be found there.
Right. Yeah, can't tell. You can't deny it.
Nope. And on that
So
note, I'm gonna have to step away.
go ahead. It's going on to what? 1:30?
Yeah, it's going on 1:30.
Hey, it was a pleasure to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, and thanks for helping me out yesterday. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you.
All right. So that was Brian Snow. For you, those of you, Snowman, his links are in the chat. And of course, they were posted here in the stream. Let's get back to this. My point is with the coaching tree is that you don't see a lot of young, successful coaches coming up, and a lot of veteran coaches, not too many of them are successful either. So, what I'm thinking is that for at least the next 5 years, you're going to see some serious parity in the NFL simply because coaching is going to be lackluster. So, it's anybody's game. So I'm going to finish off some of these tweets and then we'll get out of here. Joe B said probably the worst coach game that Stefanski has had. He did nothing to help his rookie quarterback. If you don't want to believe that, it's okay. Just know you're wrong. Andrew Spade said, I hate the way Stefanski is calling this game way too much empty. And I have to agree. Way too many 5 wide receiver sets when you're playing a 5th round rookie quarterback early in the season. I mean, I know he gave him some easy reads, like, hey, look, just this little out pass will pick up 5 yards. Maybe we'll get lucky, pick up 10 if the receiver can break a tackle. A little easy reads, but the thing about it was that it was just too much. Vern Thompson said Kevin Stefanski totally failed this Browns team today. You have a rookie 5th rounder in his first start and abandon the run game. No screenplays, nothing. See, people were seeing what I was seeing. No fire in the team. This is a damn division game. Lackluster effort from a lackluster coach, not a leader of men. And that's one of the things that I'm noticing is that the most successful NFL coaches, they're at least leaders of men. The Steelers are a train wreck, but at least they play hard for Mike Tomlin. You know why? Because he's a leader of men. Flat out. I don't know how we can be blaming Stefanski when his quarterback looks completely overwhelmed and is playing incredibly reckless. A couple of more drives of this, and they have to go to PJ Walker if they want a chance to win this game. But PJ Walker doesn't even know the playbook, so that was out of the question. Marcus Harvey said, yeah, I'm out on Stefanski. Undisciplined, unprepared, out of sync. We say it every week, and finally, 3+ quarterbacks later, I have never seen an offense as anemic as the Browns with regards to gaining 5 offensive yards at a time. Ben Axelrod says, I doubt Stefanski told Elijah Moore to run backwards 13 yards, but yeah, at a certain point, the mistakes add up. And Nick Fink said, there were 2 weird play calls in this game. You guys act like Stefanski was running double reverses the whole game. They couldn't run the ball. Yeah, but the simple fact that you're running a double reverse with a backup rookie quarterback says a lot about your play calling, especially when the wide receiver runs back field 50 million yards. So we're going to call it a day on that. All I can say is that maybe next game against the Niners, Deshaun Watson will be back. Hopefully during the bye week, we can resolve our backup quarterback issue. Maybe we can do something to fix the running game. If not, it's not going to be the type of season that we expected from the Browns. Flat out. So with that, I wish you guys well. Be safe. We will catch you all. We'll talk about it next week. We'll do the bye week. I'll, of course, join Snowman Sunday for his Niners game, and then we'll have the big game coming up in 2 weeks. Until then, be well.